Isn't it great to have a 100% community-owned project like the BNB Miner, which allows you to deposit BNB on the Binance Smart Chain, and it earns you up to 3% per day while you're, for example, out with your friends having fun while you're eating, while you're sleeping. And once you're done, you just come back, open up the app on your phone, or for example, open the tab on your laptop, and you can see the earnings immediately, and then can decide if you want to compound them and earn even more on the next day, or you want to pocket them immediately and then purchase some nice things. That's exactly what the BNB miner is, a completely immutable contract. Nothing can be changed. No funds can be removed by anyone. It's just dependent on the actions of the community. And in today's video, we want to check back what I said in my video 7 days ago, how the overall statistics changed since then, what my TVL is doing as well, and what we might do as a community to grow the project to even bigger numbers, maybe up to over 10,000 BNB, where we once were when this project was pretty big and everyone was talking about. Because as we all know, projects don't explode like this. It always needs a catalyst. It always needs some kind of success. If it's the community, if it's a growing TVL, or if it's some other kind of metric. But people need to pay attention, because as long as they don't see success, no one will jump onto the train. But once the train rolls already, everyone wants to jump on board. So let's check back into my last video, which I published exactly 7 days ago, where I showed you the overall contract balance, which was sitting roughly at 30 BNB, and my specific TVL was sitting at roughly 3 BNB, which you can see up here, and at a value of 6.3 septillion miners. Currently, we are sitting at 38 BNB, so we had an increase of 8 BNB, an average of around 1 BNB per day since then. And my TVL was of course also growing, and I am now sitting at a current value of 3.67 BNB. I did one pocket transaction and all the other ones were just compounds. Of course, my personal owned contract percentage decreased by a little bit, I think around 0.4 to 0.5%, because the overall contract grew and I just compounded into the contract. If we take a look at the overall statistics, we can see exactly the momentum we already had in the beginning. Once the BNB miner started, people started to deposit. The BNBs trickled into the contract, which we can see here. If we make this a little bit bigger, I can show you exactly what happened over there. We had a slow and steady growth. So the best thing which can happen to such projects, because if you are early, and we are currently early, you will have the best growth potential for your own TVL and for your own earnings. And you can see that over here we had around, I would say, 0.5 to 1 BNB increase per day. We had some setbacks where people started pocketing and the TVL slightly decreased. And then after a few days, after a few weeks, we had some kind of catalyst. More and more people were talking about it because they were earning actual BNB back from the contract. And then more and more people came. The train started rolling, people jumped onto the train, they saw the success of the newer people, and so on. And all that came afterwards is of course history. And the peak, as I already showed you in my last video, we hit over 7,000 BNB in our first run and over 11,000 BNB in our second run. And we can see the same picture right now, exactly 0.5 BNB to 1 BNB inflow every single day. TVL is currently rising. You can also see that if we jump into the BNB transfers into the last 14 to 21 days, all the black bars show the BNB inflows, for example, and the blue bars show the BNB outflows. And since the 8th of April, which was our first positive day, which started this trend here, we just had positive days where more BNB was deposited to the contract than withdrawn. Another interesting thing which I wanted to show you regarding the statistics of the project is the so-called taxation heat map, so all the transactions that are going on within the contract. And we can see in the start of April, the interest was declining. We had way less transactions, around, I would say, 100 to 150, sometimes slightly higher. This even decreased. And since people are seeing TVL is growing again, we have more and more transactions per day, which means people are more often compounding. They're depositing fresh BNB, and we are now above 200, even 250 transactions every single day, especially the last few days, because people are interacting more and more with the dApp. And people are definitely getting excited, which you can also see if you just jump into the BNB Miner Telegram group. So what do I expect over the upcoming days and weeks? We have a positive market sentiment. Bitcoin is rising. We are currently sitting at the 95K resistance. BNB is rising, which is of course important for all our deposits. By the way, BNB is one of the top 100 coins which reached their all-time high from last cycle, for example. Many of the large caps didn't yet. And that's of course great because we can earn up to 3% on an asset which has shown massive strength compared to all the other large caps. So the plan here of course remains completely unchanged, the same plan as once the BNB miner started over 4 years and now 1 month ago. Compound as often as you can on a daily basis. I would say 2 to 6 times every single day. Once you see some BNB in your barrel, you just want to compound them back in, and then you can take profits responsibly once the contract goes up, because then you will of course also earn more in the following days, weeks and months. And if you want to support this project and spread the word that more and more people pay attention again, you just want to scroll a little bit down and click on this X icon here, which opens a tweet on X, which spreads the hashtag of the BNB miner and the BNBMinerX bot. You can, for example, also add another hashtag that people see that this is on the Binance Smart Chain, or that it's a Binance Smart Chain project, completely community based. This will definitely also help. I would of course continue to make updates in the future. If you don't want to miss them, just subscribe to my channel. If you like today's one, hit the like button and let me know down in the comment section when you started your BNB miner journey, how the progress is so far, and then we'll meet in the next video. See you then.